Today, we're talking all about power versus force. The concept comes from a book by the same title. So this concept is all about distinguishing when you are being powerful versus when you are being forceful in life. It's an energetic concept, most of all. And so if we think about what does it mean to be powerful? In this case, having power is directly related to how much effort I have to put in order to get something. So if I'm extremely powerful, and let's say I want a pen in my hand, I'm just gonna snap my fingers and I get a pen in my hand. You know, it's kind of like godly power. That's, you can think of that as a symbol for just immense power. It means you are quite powerful, that all you have to do is snap your fingers and you get the pen. Obviously, this is a silly example, but let's do more examples. Let's say you started a new business and after 1 year, you're making $1 million in revenue. That's pretty powerful stuff. You just started and you're already 1 year later making quite a lot of money. Now, if you started that same business and 5 years later, you're struggling, you're hardly paying the bills, you might go bankrupt soon, then we could say you are less powerful in that area of life at the moment. I'm assuming in this business, you can't even see yourself being profitable anytime soon. So yeah, you're struggling in that area. Let's do more examples. I want you to start thinking about what this really means in all areas of life. Let's say you're wanting to go to Las Vegas and you text your best friend, hey, let's go to Vegas together. Let's enjoy the casinos and the buffets and the shows, whatever. And, if all you have to do is send one text to that friend and they're like, yep, let's do it, and they're in, that's pretty powerful. You're a powerful person. You have a powerful effect on your best friend. You're able to influence their decision-making very quickly with just one text. Now, on the other hand, if you are having to convince and constantly bug your friend to want to go with you, you have to remind him, hey, let's get on the phone so I can tell you the itinerary. You're trying to sell them too much on it. You're trying to constantly, give him the reasons why he should go with you to Las Vegas. Then you are kind of starting to force the issue. Now, can you see power versus force? So the more powerful you are, the less effort you have to put in essence. Now, at this point, some of you might say, but Leon, you have to put in the work in order to get any kind of result. You are correct. This is not about not putting any effort in or not taking any action. Of course, you have to take certain actions to achieve certain things. It's an energetic concept, meaning how you feel and the way you go about achieving all these things. It's the fact that if I have to constantly strive and persevere and constantly push to get something to happen, then I'm not being as powerful in that area. I'm forcing it. So again, this is not about you not putting in the work. It's just how much effort you're putting in. It's kind of like, what's the right amount of action at the right amount of time that I have to do in order to achieve X? And if I'm not getting X, then I need to step back and analyze what is going on and be aware of how to maybe change path or try or abandon it completely, for example. Yes? So it's all about how you're thinking about the decisions that you're making in life and the effort that you're putting in. I've already started mentioning a little bit about what force is, but you can see the opposite side of this is force, is using force in order to achieve your outcomes. So again, that's very simplistic example. By the way, this is, again, a symbolic example. It could be many other things. But me asking my friend to go to Las Vegas for a trip, if I have to constantly, try to sell myself that he should go with me, then I'm trying to force him to go with me in essence. And in Western society, we are taught from an early age that we need to persevere, we need to strive, we need to try harder and harder. And this is not even just in Western, by the way. This is all over the world. Even I was born in Belarus, from the Russian area, all that. They're also very much about forcing things. And, if it doesn't work, you gotta keep going and keep trying, keep banging on that door 30 more times to get it to open. But that's when you are forcing the issue. And by the way, the worst expression of force is when you are trying to manipulate and coerce someone to do something. Many of us spend so much time and energy pursuing the wrong paths or trying to persevere in the wrong thing. They're trying to force things to make them happen the way they think they should be happening. And can you see how using excessive force, manipulation to get your own way actually makes you less powerful? As the book states, power is complete in and of itself. It doesn't need to prove anything. It's already whole, it's effortless, it's noble, it trusts the universe, it lets things happen as they need to be. It doesn't need to constantly prove itself. It's already complete. But force, on the other hand, is never complete. It's always striving to prove itself. It oftentimes feels like it's not enough, and so it needs to resort to manipulation tactics and striving and using way too much energy to achieve something. If you've been living your life in a very unconscious way, what I'm saying to you right now may feel so foreign, and you might be like, what is this? And you're like, you don't even get it. So I implore you to, keep listening and also watch some of my other episodes here. I talk about spirituality, self-awareness, and psychology and all that kind of stuff. So as you can imagine, I'm going to suggest that the ultimate goal for us is to be more powerful versus forceful in all situations of life. Part of that being powerful is knowing also when to let things go. Let's say you've been doing something for a while. Like I said, you've been running that business for 5 years and you can't see a way it's going to be profitable. Maybe you should drop it and start another business. Many people have this mentality of the sunk cost fallacy, where they put so much energy and time into something, they don't want to even think about changing paths. But sometimes you do need to change paths. So you need to be intelligent about how you use your time and energy, because at the end of the day, we're only living once. What I think is going to help you now is if I show you a clip from Office Space. When I was making notes for this episode, I was really reminded by this idea from Office Space, where one of the main characters is going into an interview where basically they're interviewing people to see who they should fire. And this guy is powerful. He just doesn't care. And you can see how powerful it is from the clip. So I think it'd be better if you watch this video first, and then I'll talk about it later. So we're going to show you two clips. They're kind of connected. They're quite short, but I want you to see what I mean when I'm talking about power doesn't need to prove itself. It just is. So let's watch it.
Next batter looks like a Peter Gibbons. Oh, there you are. We're just talking about you. You must be Peter Gibbons. Terrific. I'm Bob Slidell. This is my associate, Bob Porter.
Hi, Bob. Bob?
Pretty much go ahead and grab a seat and join us for a minute or two. You see, what we're actually trying to do here is we're trying to get a feel for how people spend their day at work. So, if you would you walk us through a typical day for you?
Yeah.
Great.
Well, I generally come in at least 15 minutes late. I use the side door. That way Lumberg can't see me. And after that, I just sort of space out for about an hour. Till I'm finished.
Space out?
Yeah, I just stare at my desk. But it looks like I'm working. I do that for probably another hour after lunch, too. I'd say in a given week, I probably only do about 15 minutes of real, actual work.
Peter, would you be a good sport and indulge us and just tell us a little more?
Oh, yeah. Let me tell you something about TPS reports.
TPS stands
The thing is, Bob, it's not that I'm lazy. It's that I just don't care.
Don't care?
It's a problem of motivation, all right? Now, if I work my ass off and Initech ships a few extra units, I don't see another dime. So where's the motivation? And here's something else, Bob. I have 8 different bosses right now.
I beg your pardon?
8 bosses.
8?
8, Bob. So that means that when I make a mistake, I have 8 different people coming by to tell me about it. That's my only real motivation, is not to be hassled. That and the fear of losing my job. But you know, Bob, that'll only make someone work just hard enough not to get fired.
Would you bear with me for just a second, please?
Okay.
What if, and believe me, this is so hypothetical, but what if you were offered some kind of a stock option equity sharing program? Would that do anything for you?
I don't know, I guess. Listen, I'm gonna go. It's been really nice talking to both of you guys.
Absolutely. The pleasure's all on this side of the table, trust me.
Good luck with your layoffs, all right? I hope your firings go really well.
Excellent. Crazy. Now, we had a chance to meet this young man, and boy, that's just a straight shooter with upper management written all over him.
Ooh, yeah. I'm gonna have to go ahead and sort of disagree with you there. Yeah, he's been real flaky lately. And I'm just not sure that he's the caliber person that we would want for upper management. He's also been having some problems with his TPS reports.
I'll have this here. We feel that the problem isn't with Peter. It's that you haven't challenged him enough to get him really motivated.
There it is.
So in these clips, what you saw is a man who basically walks in like he doesn't care. They're laying people off, and he basically already made peace with the fact that he might get laid off. But because he didn't care, in essence, he was so extremely confident in himself and so happy, he didn't even care about external circumstances and what's going to happen to him and his job. Because of that, he was super honest, he was truthful, and as a result, his confidence translated to them thinking that he should be upper management material. Like they said, he's like upper management material, something like that. They could see how they may need to promote him, actually. So it's because of what I said earlier, like as the book states, powerful beings don't have to prove, they just are. They're self-evident, like this guy right here. Again, this is a silly example, but I want you to start thinking of it as more symbolic, okay? The reason I'm bringing this out, obviously this is a comedy, but I want you to see this as an example of what power is. Obviously, he didn't, in real life, you're not gonna act like you don't care about your job. You don't need to. He could have also walked in and, and still, seemed like he cared about keeping his job and was very truthful and honest. And that might have gotten the same result, honestly. Obviously, they took it really far because it's a comedy, it's a movie. But it still kind of shows you what can happen when you are complete and whole by yourself. You're self-evident. You don't need to prove anything. You're just powerful. How often have you achieved something, but at the expense of your sanity, at the expense of your health? You got somebody to do something, or you got that job or promotion, but was it really worth it? Right? So it's about energy expenditure here. So you want to live your life in a more powerful way and see where and how you are spending that energy. Can you achieve those external goals in an effortless way? You're still taking action, but you are not killing yourself all-nighters and sacrificing your sleep, sacrificing your mental health? Can you do it in a more effortless way? If you have some disagreement, you can maybe talk about it in a calm, mature manner, or leave the situation. So, but you don't have to necessarily throw a fit or try to force something. You can do it in a more, again, powerful way. I have a last example here that I wanted to share. There was, a friend that I used to know whose family had a bunch of kids and little kids. And those little kids were always behaving when I was around them. And I was always surprised. I was like, how come they're behaving so well? They don't talk back to their parents. They don't play with their utensils. And also, whenever, one of their parents just tells them, hey, cut it down, they listen right away. And then I know another person whose kids are throwing tantrums all over the place. And that parent is constantly fighting with her kids and constantly telling them to act like an adult or whatever, to not throw food around, to not throw their utensils around, to not talk or chew so loudly. And the kids are constantly like misbehaving, constantly, talking back, fighting back, and they're behaved really badly. So, and I asked the other friend whose kids are well behaved. I'm like, how does this happen? Why are your kids so well behaved while this other person that I know, their kids are all over the place? And she told me, she said, well, basically early on, when they were kids, they threw a tantrum and one of the parents took them outside and kind of in a nonsense way talked about like, hey, you gotta do this and this. This is how it's gonna be. There's no tantrums. I think they took the kid out privately, so it's not a spectacle for everyone to see. They're not fighting with them. Just took them calmly, explained this is how it's gonna be and this is what's not gonna be. And now the kids behave. I don't know how many times they had to do that, but that is a very powerful way of handling kids' tantrums and training your kids to behave in a certain way, rather than that other parent that's constantly fighting. It doesn't do anything. The kids just get amused and they want to fight back because they can see the parent that is not in control. And so it's like, this is a more forceful way. She's just trying to get them to do what she wants, and they're not listening. They don't care. And in this other one, the well-behaved kids, they know that if they're gonna start throwing tantrums, like it's not gonna turn out well for them, so they don't even try. Now that's a powerful parent right here, and this is not a less powerful parent right here, in my opinion. So this is just again another example of how I want you to think about power versus force in your life. So yeah, this brings me to the end. I hope all of these examples and all these ideas are helping you in your life. If you're liking this kind of content, make sure you like this video, send it to a friend, subscribe to this YouTube channel for more. Also, I would love to hear from you. So if you can leave a comment below, let me know how this concept resonated with you. Let me know where in life you are using power versus force or vice versa. I'd love to hear from you. And I'll see you guys on the next episode.